Hope all you swabbies are still awake. Late Night Mega here, and we're at 70th place, the best of Tier 4 by Blindkin Sleet Citadel with an average score of 53.25. MJack is the only one that really hated this, but he's fired, so, you know, whatever. Alright, we have... I debate this. It's raining with snow. We've got ice with... There's so much wrong with this. Why am I losing to these things? Stop. Stop. No. And we have a really dreary version of Dr. Cossack's stage. And so far it's just, here's the ice, here's the... Okay, so the other one must have been rain. Was what that picture was. And so far it's just kind of been... Here's enemy spam, here's... I do appreciate those skater things coming from behind me to harass me. So this is like a redesigned Cossack Stage 1. Okay, you're gonna be obnoxious. We're gonna use this. Okay, saltwater go. And we have some other different enemies here. I do appreciate the use of alternative enemies. No, no. I want to do... Why can I just not transition back in places? Okay, what is over here? Easy. And there's nothing that way. Okay. We'll do this room again, but differently. Run away! Okay. This rain isn't actually pushing me back. Look, I'm just jumping. Did somebody forget to program the actual way to make the rain work? Because that's sure what it seems like here. Well, I don't like enemies randomly spawning in halfway down the screen. I'm not a fan of this music either. It fits the atmosphere if your atmosphere is like attempting to be dreary and depressing and like not much there. Okay, I guess he didn't spawn completely out of the middle, but it sure felt like he did. Ooh, I like the positioning of that one. Okay, I'm kind of ready to be done with this sort of challenge. I was probably not supposed to do that. Rush jet is disabled? Oh, that was close. Oh, this is gonna be one of these sections. These are neat. This is gonna become like the main sort of gimmick here. Okay, we have a maze. I'm gonna stop using that. Okay. Do I want the upper path? Sure I do. Did I miss something down there, or was there just nothing else to actually find? Okay, I see what they want us to do. Okay, that second one is a bit too high up given the ceiling here. There's a thing. Do I need a thing? Oh, this is clever. I like this. Because you can't kill that without special weapons, and you gotta slide there. Yeah, very nifty. Okay. I am kind of liking the whole wraparound gimmick. That is adding something unique to that. Okay, it looks like we need 5 bits. 5 bits have now shown up here. Get back here with my platform. Okay, the biggest problem I'm having with this section is there's a huge lack of direction as to where I'm supposed to go. Get off my platform. Did that really just happen? I gotta... There we go. Ooh, bolts. Oh, that's gonna take us back. I wonder if I can go down further? Yeah, I don't like how this is playing out, because you're almost guaranteed to have to be sent back to get that one. Yeah, just get me out of here. I think this was around where we initially entered, wasn't it? I got that. I got that too. Ah, I got thing. Ow. Did one of those just despawn? I thought there was one like right in the middle there. That up. Okay, no more guys. No, I said no more of this. I don't want you spawning on top of me. It was interesting the first couple times you did it, now it's just kind of annoying. Really? Once again, you can't get that without... And what's to the right? I mean, if I had Pile Driver... Alright, well, we got the key. Wraparound stuff while I think it's cool if done correctly, that section kind of confused me a little bit. Why do I suddenly need Fire Mixer to access goodies? Okay. Beat! Go get my stuff! Go get it! Good bird. Go fight whatever this is. Fight it. That is not your weakness. Concrete. That's not your weakness. Not your weakness. Fire Mixer, really? Yeah, this rain does not seem to be programmed properly at all. Alright, well, I'm not going to just use Fire Mixer on this thing. Boss fight down, and why couldn't we have, you know, more walls? I don't know. There's a little bit of a lack of direction in this stage, which is my biggest issue with it. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I'm pretty mixed on this level. The beginning of this level is fine. It introduces the Cossack platforms, the enemies, and the ice. That's all fine. It's a bit heavy on the falling into pits, but that's not a huge deal for now. The middle part of the level, where you mostly focus on the Cossack platforms, is generally frustrating. It just feels overly punishing, and every little mistake sends you back to the checkpoint. It falls on the wrong side of the line between challenging and just frustrating. Just a bit more forgiveness here would make the level way better. It's not a simple redesign, but try having enemies placed a bit differently, or some more platforms you could fall onto. Now, the end of the level was really good, unexpectedly good considering the rest of the level. I didn't like the maze warp for the key, though, but short-lived. The final area with the key coins is generally fantastic. I thought that was the worst part of this stage. Due to the maze warp, you don't constantly die and lose your progress. Well, I guess that's good. Even if it is tricky like the end of the level should be. But what it is you have to go through an entire stretch, and you're forced to, like, go back down and restart it at a couple of points just based on the placement of the keys and the platforms. That's what I don't like about it. It takes what could have been fun earlier and makes it good. To me, this is a hard level to score because it's so in the middle of some really good and some really poor design. I liked where it was going with the maze warp gimmick. Then the key parts came in and it kind of... there we go. PK, Ouija, we're on the same wavelength here. It's good that you don't die when you fall in that section, but at the same time, it's so tedious, yes, to get back to where you just were, if you're just missing the rightmost one or something. Also, the rain got kind of hard on my eyes after a while. You know what the worst thing about this level is? The constant rain. It adds an extra layer of irrelevant animated tiling. It's distracting to look at, and it doesn't even have the pushing effect it did back in Toadman stage. Yeah. And most of the outdoor segments are still just endless stretches of pure black anyways. As for the design itself, I guess you can divide this into 3 parts. The first part is a romp where you hold right and occasionally shoot wabbits. The second part is it cleverly uses the maze warp to have a pseudo wraparound effect. The third part uses maze warp to create a weird horizontal segment where you assemble a key or something. Of these parts, I found the first part okay, the second part intellectually pleasing but not particularly fun, and the third part intolerable. You pretty much have to backtrack to get all the key coins, And because the background and enemy choices are almost identical throughout the entire section, you don't have any idea where you're supposed to be going. Worst of all, because there's no real pit for you to fall in, and thus no real challenge, the section really drags. It's just so tedious. I think if the level expanded on the second section's faux wraparound, you'd have a much better level. Yeah, they should have had the wraparound doing something like collecting keys with the wraparound feature, and not just using it as like, hey, go back to the start of this really long section where you have to go to the right, and pick up keys that you basically have to fall in the pit to get. This one was a bust for me, though. Not a bad time at all. The first half followed a very safe pattern of introducing everything. It had the enemy-filled opening, which was probably a little too enemy-filled, but nitpicks. Then introducing the Cossack platforms, which is fine, if not a little slow and boring in how it was used in longer stretches, and then introducing the maze warps. It even had a cute little screen where you had to use the two of them together. And then the last section was just bizarre. Why does it drop you in the middle of a room? Your goal is to find all of the coins, but just dropping and going left to right, you get all of them anyway, so what's the point of turning it into a fake maze to begin with? I figured in the room you show up in when you fall, that if you went the other way, it'd have you start on the right side instead, but that's not even an option. It just makes me wonder why it wasn't just a normal platforming section. Because the maze warp kinda didn't matter at all by that point. Was the maze warp one of the gimmick? Was that the gimmick and not the rain? No, that must have been the rain that was there. I don't know. I don't know what maze warp would look like in the little box thing we see above the stages. And really, the last challenge was just more of the same kind of dull Cossack platforming challenges that were in the middle of the stage. I just wish we got more time with both of the gimmicks working together, because it was certainly the highlight of the level, and more of that would have helped a lot. Alright, and what do you say? I'm responsible for keeping the machinery clean, but my methods prohibit me from wearing clothes. It's a shame too. The Double Action Boutique on the upper deck has some outfits that would look great on me. If you say so. Alright, well with that, Tier 4 is complete. See, it's complete. So I'm going to go back to the deck, and I'm going to, do the end of the tier, looking around the whole area, see if I find any new side quests, see if any of them can be completed. I'll come back if I find something. Alright, took a trip through the whole deck area, all the rooms and all that. I didn't find anything new, so I guess for now, I'll take my leave.